Hi guys, in today's video I help Inspired Keys Academy member Nathan with riff creation when he plays worship songs. Enjoy the video! Ladies and gentlemen, hey guys, it is Sandra from Inspired Keys, and today I have Nathan, who is an Inspired Keys Academy member, who is on a member call to ask his worship keys questions. So welcome, Nathan!
Good to be with you.
Hello, hi. So, what are your worship keys questions that you have?
Well, one of the questions I had was to do with creating riffs and licks. So, because oftentimes within a worship setting, you find that wanting to kind of like go beyond or just average sort of playing and try and sort of be a bit more creative. So
that's right. I
was wondering if that, if you had any sort of tips for that.
Yeah. Now, there are a few things. I was wondering if you have a specific song in mind that we could use for today's demonstration.
Yeah, one of the things that I was thinking, sometimes I think I struggle mostly like creating a kind of a framework for a song. So when approaching a new song, for example, creating like a rhythm pattern or whatever. But one of the songs that I thought would be nice to do would be Oceans, because it's quite a repetitive song. So one has to build a kind of a framework for it. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but they need a base to work from.
Now, I was wondering if you tried to practice it one time and then maybe you have something to show. And it's okay if you can't really show the screen of your fingers playing, because I could kind of hear it. And that should be good enough.
Yeah, no, I have played it before.
Okay, cool.
I haven't played it for a while though.
Okay, that's
usually
fine.
Kind of a synth version, which is just chords. So, kind of partial rhythm.
Okay.
But
yeah, go ahead and show me what you have first.
With a song like that, it's quite difficult because in the actual song itself, there's quite a lot going on. So only having a keyboard is kind of difficult. I know in the original they have Omnisphere, which kind of helps, to make it a bit more sort of interesting. But I know the chords, I can try and play them for you if you want.
Cool. Yes, please. And maybe have a go at the riff creation as well. So, yeah, great. That I can see your hands. Beautiful. Awesome. All good here?
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway,
thank you.
Because to be fair, I haven't played it in a while, so it's going to be a bit of a
revision?
stop-start.
No problem. Do what you can.
So, let me just see if I can find the best key for this. Okay, just give me a second. We'll start the first verse. Okay?
Sounds good, yeah. Sounds good.
course, go back to the first.
Sounds good.
Second verse.
Nice.
But kind of get the idea, and then obviously the next part of it would be the bridge.
Yep.
I think.
Yep, that's right.
So
cool.
We would play. You could go into a variation of
you can.
song there, the third variation, which doesn't appear on the acoustic version.
Yep.
Which is quite good, actually. Of course, they've got that whole vocal part, which is cool. And then go back to the original, which is.
Wow, thank you so much, Nathan. Wow, that actually sounded nice. Now, are you ready for some feedback?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah, all good. Now, I really like how you played with a good choice of chord shapes and chord voicings. I find that in general, everything's very effective. There is nothing that you need to change with regards to exactly which notes you use or how to rearrange them. I really like what you do. Just thought I would point out to you that when you, I think for the most part, you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Yep, good. I'm just going to remove that maybe because that way you can see. Yes. Okay. So, I have no idea why it's so quiet. Can you hear the keys quite clearly?
Yes.
Okay, great. You can. Give me a sec. What I'm going to have to do, because my main stage is already on max. So. Okay, now. Is this even clearer?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, very nice. Okay, so I can see that you are using sort of like a piano and pad. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a synth piano.
Yeah, piano and synth, right? Very good. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'll jack up my... Okay, so you can hear my pad sound? Awesome, awesome. Yeah. So what I'm seeing is that your left hand is pretty low. I think you are doing. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. I was thinking that you might want to reserve that super, super low B for a really grand moment. So if I were just starting out, I'm actually just going to do, just keeping to about this being the lowest note, because if you dish out the super low at the very beginning, then it's all extremely grand and extremely, just too much too soon, and then you kind of don't have any more to grow from.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just an idea there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and share some other stuff. I think in general, I like how you played your chords quite continuously, flowing one into another. I think it's during, the bridge section, there were moments when your chords kind of hesitated a little bit before going into the next one. So that one, you've just got to be you got to be cautious not to do it in an actual performance. So make sure in your brain you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and you are changing exactly on time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, good. Okay, so that's just being aware of being able to play fluently and on time, arriving on time, punctuality. It's very important, not early, not late, but exactly on time. And then, now, I like how you were trying to play a little pattern on your right hand. So that's sort of like the beginning of a riff creation. Now the riff has to be something a little bit more melodious. So what you can do that's not really rocket science at all is if you already put your fingers, for example, let's pretend it's the bridge. Now, in the first place, I don't think riffs are necessary at every section. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't want a riff going on like too many movements in the verse section or the pre-chorus sometimes, but maybe for the later choruses and the later bridge, when you really grow up to a certain point of climax, then a riff would be quite nice. So let's just pretend you're going into the, let's do the am I right? Okay.
Yes.
So that's the bridge section. So what we can try to do is, just as a very simple version, since your right hand is already on, right? So what you can do is to create a pattern from just that first. So maybe it's something as simple as, okay, so you have that consistent pattern where it's a high, low, mid, low, high, low, mid, low. So something like, so that would be sort of like a beginning of riff creation. Just create something that's already, your right hand's already on it anyway. So instead of just playing all three down at the same time, just have a little pattern to it, high, low, mid, low. You can do that. And then the next level up would probably to be introducing a few, maybe just a few neighboring notes, so you have something that's more of a melody than just a broken chord. Because after all, this kind of like just over, it's outlining the chord. But if you want something that's a little bit more like a riff, like a melody, maybe instead of, maybe something like, so it's a little bit more like a tune, or maybe.
Yes. Exactly.
But I don't really think some of them sound better than others. So if you can just experiment with it, just try and be a little bit brave and risk taking. If it's. Now, I don't really think that's the best, but what I'm trying to get you to do is to just try and see what you like and see what you don't really like. One sort of an idea that I came up with when you were playing was something like, maybe something like, sometimes it's just, just 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3. Now here is another sort of a nice guideline to work around. Remember everlasting 1 and 5?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you don't know what to play, you can always try to integrate a bit of the 1, a bit of a 5, or maybe even both, and you're probably going to get a pretty nice sounding riff. Yeah, the 1 and the 5 usually doesn't go too wrong.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's something I'm always confused about, is when adding sort of neighboring notes, kind of, I doesn't always know which is the best.
Yeah.
And so, what I was thinking is that you were playing just now a variation based on a sustained chord, was it not? So you would have to know the chord shapes that go with the different scales so that you can know exactly what notes to play in any specific scale.
Yep, that's right.
Example, or whatever is based on the B minor.
Exactly, it's a B minor. You're just kind of playing around with what else you can play around B minor. Now, one other thing you can try will be the passing notes in between those 3 notes. So if you've got B, D, and F sharp, right? So if you've got B, D, and F sharp, what you can do is you can try something like a, or maybe, you know, something in between first. And remember how the 5, that everlasting 1 and 5, so maybe it can be integrated with, or maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, so something like an outlining of the chord will be a nice way to start. Would you like to try?
I was thinking, just as I was saying, just to clarify, so you could learn the chord shapes first and then learn what notes go with what specific chord. Makes it easier to remember when one is trying to
but
play.
I think you're pretty good with the chord shapes now, aren't you?
Not all of them, no. I haven't really played the sustained chords much, and the minor 7s and things like that. Sometimes one gets a bit confused when when one is playing and doesn't always remember the actual notes, you know.
Okay.
It can be confusing.
If you're trying something like a minor 7th and you're quite confused, go ahead. This is the best time. Try it. It doesn't matter if it's wrong. What's important is that you experiment and then you grow in your vocabulary. Through the mistakes, you're like, oh, that doesn't sound good. I won't use it again. Or, hey, that sounds good and I will use it again. So that's where we want to be. So why don't you just play around? I don't mind if you make mistakes. And then the moment you have a question, just turn around and ask me.
Well, what I tend to do is I like to experiment.
Yeah, fantastic.
How does it sound?
Now, that actually sounds really cool. I like it. And actually, a lot of music already do that. Do you know what is an arpeggio?
Yeah, I do,
Yeah, so it would be like the technical exercise we do, which would be, you know that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so now that's an arpeggio in the traditional sense, but there is this thing called an arpeggio in main stage, which is basically like an electronic technological function where if you just put your fingers on, for example, a B minor chord, so you are just playing da-da-da, but the computer creates the pattern for you. So it creates like so you don't even have to do anything. You just put your fingers down there and what you hear is, you know, like it creates the pattern for you and you don't have to do anything at all. Yeah, so what I'm seeing that you're doing, it's actually that you're decorating, you're playing some notes a few more times so that you create this special pattern, right? So what I like what you're doing, but when we do too many patterns, it can be confusing because people hear this idea and then they go like, oh, but at first it's okay. So it's like low, mid, high, right? So you've got low, mid, high. Maybe at first you go. Let's just pretend it's that, right? It's low, low, mid, mid, high, low, high, mid, low, mid. And then maybe for your next chord, you do like, which would be a different one, but that would be a high, mid, low, mid, high, mid, low, mid. And then maybe the next one, if you change another pattern, which would be, that would be a different pattern again, high, high, mid, mid, low, low. So you don't want to change too many patterns. So what you want to do is think of one idea and keep it the same most of the time. So maybe, so you were doing the verse just now. So maybe something like, yeah, so keep to high, mid, low, mid, for example. That's just kind of something I thought of. Why don't you try that? Keep to one consistent pattern for now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Let's give it a try, shall we?
Let's see. Shall we start from the beginning?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. See, I'm trying to work out what's the lesson. How does that sound?
Hey, you know what? Actually, that sounds like what the original Hillsong recording had, which would be 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do you remember that?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so were you trying to play like what the recording played, or are you trying to create something new?
I'm playing based on what I've heard, so it's kind of just...
Yeah, okay, well, then you're doing a pretty fine job playing by ear and playing those notes, because they do sound correct to me. All you gotta do is to practice it till it's very fluent, so you don't stop to think and hesitate and have the gaps between. But then what I want to challenge you to do is to create something new. So pretend you are like the Hillsong arranger, producer, and you're like, guys, let's do a remix. So you can't have the da-da-da-da, it's gotta be a different tune. Maybe da-da-da-da, you know, like da-da-dum-dum, 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 you know, anything but 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, let me see if I can work something out.
Yeah, just have some fun.
Early in the morning.
You're doing very well, Nathan.
Let me see. I've never been the most creative, so I've got to use my creative juices.
Yep.
Sorry, give me a second.
It's okay.
I think I'm going to switch to piano because it's less... I don't want to mess up with the sustain. You know what I mean? I think I've found this a bit more effective for now, if that's okay.
Good idea. I agree. Don't have the pad.
See, this is the thing. I need to
you know what? Yeah, you're going to have probably like 10 bad ideas and one good one, and then the one good one's going to be extremely valuable.
Exactly.
Here's a clue. Like you were having like a 3, 2, something like that. Now, what happens is when you have a 3, 2, a very natural inclination is for it to resolve to a 1. So maybe you can try something like that, and then keep your ideas very similar. So the next one, don't change too much. Maybe it can be, depending on what chord it is. So I'm imagining if it's an alternative to, we're trying to be creative, right? So maybe try, just change one note first, and that's pretty nice as well.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so basically what you do is figure out what that chord is and then put your fingers on it and try to add that same formula to every chord.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the first time I'm actually playing this.
Wow.
Kind of,
well done, you.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Awesome. You know what? Have fun with that. I want you to keep practicing. Don't just kind of stop it right here. You've only just begun, so keep playing. What I'll do is this, Nathan. I actually really like playing the music and then playing on top of the original Hillsong recording.
Yes, exactly. That's a good idea.
Yeah, because otherwise it gets so boring, like you're just accompanying yourself. But when you have like the full Hillsong band with you and then you improvise on top of that, it just sounds a lot better and you just kind of like the feel to it even more, don't you? Yeah.
It kind of ties with something I wanted to ask, which is when you approach a new song, what's the best way to prepare?
Okay, so you mean like how do you go about learning a brand new song? Is that correct?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, well let's pretend you guys are singing, like literally playing it this weekend, and you is this like a brand new song to you, or have you kind of heard it in the album 3 times before?
Depends. Some of them I've never heard of before, and others are somewhat new, but you've heard them, you just never played them. You know what I mean?
Okay, so what's pretty important is you need to be quite familiar with it, and familiarity comes from repetition. So there's really no other shortcut to it. You kind of need to listen to it a lot. And even though I like listening on the background, which also means, you're washing your car, you're driving, and you're hearing it on repeat. So that's a great way to learn something. You just hear it again and again, so your brain almost kind of memorizes it. But I find that because that's passive, when you listen to something 1,000 times passive, and because you're multitasking, maybe you just don't pay enough attention to really knowing what the verse is, what the chord is. So I think nothing beats sitting down. You open up your laptop, you open up the chord sheet, and maybe it's a chord chart, maybe it's just a lyric sheet with chords on top. And you listen to the song and you actually analyze. You listen to it, don't do anything else, focus. This is fully active listening and analysis even. Sometimes it works to have just pencil and paper, so you could write down how many verses you hear, how many choruses. And that's kind of what I did the other day, because I'm preparing to band lead this weekend and our rehearsals tonight. So 2 days ago, even though it was 4 songs that I played, I heard 1,000 times before, I've never actually played them proper. So I actually wrote down some details. So things like maybe verse, and then chorus kind of adds a little bit more. Maybe you have some information about which instrument plays what. Maybe the piano comes in at the chorus, so you can put that in there. Chorus 1 dash add light piano riff. Whatever helps you to understand the song. And then after the chorus, what happens? There are all these little details in between. Maybe there is a turnaround. Maybe there's no turnaround. It goes straight into verse 2. Maybe there's a riff twice. Maybe sometimes just once. Maybe there is a special 1 bar extension. There are all these possibilities that you kind of don't pay attention if you are listening to it passively. You need to sit down. You need to get your maybe even pencil and paper ready and open up the chord sheet, read through the lyrics and listen to the music and do it a couple of times, and preferably memorize it. Because that way you don't need to stare at the chord sheet, and then you can play more naturally, and you can look at the audience, you can look at the worship leader and flow more readily during the service. What do you think?
Well, I think that's a great idea. And also I think it helps to, it helps you with your variations as well.
Exactly. Now tell me, how do you go about a new song at the moment?
Not very well, apparently. Generally, if I don't know a song that well, it's a bit fast to learn. Sometimes I just play with the synth. But I think that's more to do with a lack of confidence.
And when you play with the synth, what do you play? Because if you're not confident and you're not sure, then what do you play?
Well, for example, the other day I was playing, because I'd never heard of the song before.
Yep.
I mean, Upchurch comes up with a load of songs that are written by local people that you wouldn't really be able to find on the internet anywhere. Yeah. So, because I had no time to practice, I was just basically playing like a flat A.
Ah, okay.
Or whatever sort of synth pad.
Are you just playing one note?
Yeah, basically.
Wow, that is so cool. Now, hang on. What key is the song in?
The song was an A, I think.
Okay, the song's an A, and you were playing A flat?
No, just an A.
Okay, so you were playing an A. Okay, so you were playing the tonic, right? So if it's an A major, you were just playing the A the whole time? Okay, now you can always try having the E as well because of the everlasting 1 and 5 principle. So A, E usually can sound pretty good in a song in A. Okay, there are moments when the E might clash with occasional chords that might have an E sharp in it. So you may want to just remove the E sometimes. Maybe the E needs to come down to the D just for a certain chord. But otherwise, A, E the whole time, it can sound good. And that's the best part. That's the beauty about everlasting 1 and 5. If it gets boring, do you invert your A so that it becomes the higher A?
Yes, I did.
Beautiful. And it sounds okay, right?
Yeah, because sometimes switched into the key of, not the key of D, sometimes play the D chord, or sometimes continue playing the A and then just switch between D and E.
Beautiful.
That sounds alright.
Beautiful. So you've kind of got that, you've mastered the art of like a shortcut playing of a piece, you know, and that's great. Yeah. I mean, if I have suddenly no time to practice and you tell me I'm doing 3 new songs, I'm just going to freak out as well because I just don't have the time to sit down. So what I'll do is, okay, what key is it? And then try my best to listen to it as much as I can. But look, I'll probably play the 1 and the 5 as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, of course, if you are playing the piano part, then that becomes a little bit, you got to do your homework. You got to analyze what that riff is. So a lot of times the piano is a very hero instrument for the introductions. You need to do a special riff. You might need to do like a dang, 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 you know, like for Look to the Sun. And if you don't play that, then it's a core thing that's missing. So you need to do your homework. You need to know it's a 4-3-1, 4-3-1, 1-2-2, and you need to be able to change the key if the worship leader decides to change it. So yeah, you can't really get away if you are doing the piano, I think. Yeah, it's that's a bit more difficult. So exactly. Obviously what it means. Wow. Now, is there anything else I can help you with, Nathan? Yeah, well, I think I have a lot more questions, but those are for another time. But yeah, no, definitely, I think it's good. It's good for now. That is awesome. I think I'd like to focus on what I've covered so far today. That is awesome. Nathan, I cannot wait to get back on another call with you in the near future, yeah? Yeah, let's catch up again sometime. We should. Now make sure to just think about all the other questions that you have in mind to ask, and I'll be happy to answer in our next member call. I've written them down, so yeah, I'll be in touch with you again shortly. Yeah? Sounds good. I cannot wait. Thank you so much, Nathan, for today. Thank you so much for the call. Much appreciated. Oh, really appreciate your time as well. I hope you had a good time learning. And yes, definitely. Thank you. Thanks for your time, mate. Thank you too. Take care, Nathan. Thank you. Bye. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you learned a lot about worship keys. If you like this video, do hit the like button to help with the rankings of this video. Do also hit the subscribe and the notification bell buttons so that you get notified when I post a new video or when I go on YouTube Live. If you like my work, you can also support me on patreon.com/inspiredkeys for as low as $1 per video. By supporting me on Patreon, you also get early access to my videos videos, and one-to-one worship keys lessons with me. Now, if you have any questions based on what happened in this video, or maybe you have a question that you've been wanting to ask, maybe you want to learn how to play worship keys in a similar style as in this video, then the Inspired Keys Academy is for you. With over 30 training courses on dozens of worship keys topics, ear training exercises, active members-only discussions, the chance to get feedback for your playing, and live member calls with me every single month, the Inspired Keys Academy is your opportunity to get the help and support that you need to make your keyboard playing goals a reality. The best part is that you can get started today for just $1. So just go on to inspiredkeys.com/join and use discount code $trial at checkout, and you can get full unlimited access to everything inside the Inspired Keys Academy for just $1 for 2 weeks. I'll see you inside the Academy.